Hello and welcome back to the Craic Heads podcast with myself, Kegs.
And me, Shannon. I'm
She's
back.
I'm so excited to have you back. Honestly, it's not been the same without you.
I am so glad to be back. I really missed this little catch up.
Yeah.
I really, really did. Like I said, you kind of told the podcast, I had a family situation. My nanny passed away. I wouldn't have been worth shit to you. I wouldn't have been any good. I wouldn't be any good, but I'm feeling good.
You're feeling good. You're looking glowing. You're looking gorgeous. You're looking, the hair's glowing. Everything's glowing.
Thanks, I washed it. That's such a girl thing to say. Your hair's nice. Yeah, I washed it.
But yeah, I'm actually buzzing to have you back. I can't lie. Like, I loved having Jerry and Dervlon on, like such amazing
I
guests.
love
We had
the
such good
episodes.
crack, but it just didn't feel like the same without you. I needed you.
We've got a wee vibe going.
We
We've got
do.
a vibe going. No, I loved, well, I was saying to you, I've obviously watched Dervla's episode and Jerry's episode. I have about 10 minutes left, and so far I'm loving it. I actually listened to it, watched it on YouTube while I was getting ready. So
Class. And if
Yeah,
you are a
very good.
YouTube watcher and you watched last week's episode, we had a wee bit of a technical difficulty where like the colour and the what do you call that? The thing that makes it look good. The quality came out a bit weird, so we're leveled
working
up
on
this week. We're working on it. We're a work in progress. We're trial and error.
Cameras
and
everywhere.
see the guys at Spinning Mill. So we do our podcast in Spinning Mill Studios in Banana Block. They have put so much work into the studio today.
Helping
We've got
us.
loads of lights. We've got new plants. Like anyone who's looking to do a podcast, give
Highly
Spinning Mills a shout
recommend.
because these guys work so hard at what they do, and the whole thing just looks amazing. Like I'm buzzing with it.
insane. Like that's what we were saying when we started this. You know, like we kind of, a lot of people are contacted to do podcasts by these like big places, and we just really wanted to go for it ourselves. And whenever we sing the Spinner's Mill, we were like, oh my goodness, such a good location, and we love it. And the team here have been so good.
They actually are
Like
class.
so good, and they've like really helped us because we're not that good with the technical stuff, like the cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
They have been so good.
No, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing without them, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much, and give them a shout if you want to do a wee podcast. So if you're an avid listener of the Craic Heads podcast, welcome back. We love you. And if you are a new listener, this podcast is basically a podcast for the gals and the gays and for anyone who's up for a bit of crack.
Think of it as like an unhinged group chat with your older brother and sister. That's us. But yeah, we love this.
We love having a bit of
this
crack,
little
chatting shit, and yeah, just vibing every single week. So welcome back, bitches.
Yeah, and definitely, like Keg said, please, if you're enjoying it, or even if it's your first time listening, watching, whatever, subscribe, give us a little like, because it helps us a lot. It helps us a lot. Like from the first episode to now, we have been able to grow quite a bit, and it's them little likes, views, everything that all contribute towards that. So first of all, thanks very much, and second of all, like.
We love you.
Subscribe.
Thank you
Love
so
yous.
much, guys. We love you.
You know what? I'm actually getting a bit sleepy.
Well, you know, there's a boost for that.
Oh, I do know there's a boost for that.
Have you tried the new Boost sugar-free drinks?
So I'm actually having right now the tropical Blitz flavour. It is flipping insane.
Good. I'm trying the raspberry and apple. It's so nice. Like there's so much like refreshing taste in your mouth. You're just like,
So good. So yeah, this episode is proudly brought to you by Boost. And Boost actually have 2 new flavours out, which me and Kegs are drinking right now. They're both sugar-free, which is right up my street because I go a bit crazy with sugar. I'm having the tropical Blitz. Kegs is having...
the apple and raspberry, and this is both of our second boosts of the day. Like we need energy for the podcast. Now we're doing the podcast, we need energy for an event after. So Boost is perfect to give you that wee.
Boost is keeping us going, handy for on the go. I just love it.
I love it too. And they've also got a campaign running at the minute called There's a Boost for That. So like if you're tired in uni, there's a boost for that. If you want energy for training, there's a boost for that.
There's Boost coffee. I've seen as well the tins. It's like they've got like coffee as well. So
There's
like
3 different types
if
of Boost.
if you're a coffee drinker, get on it. But I would say, if anything, get out and taste these. These are insane.
They're so nice.
Actually, let's do a taste test. So as I said, I'm on the tropical Blitz. You're on the apple and raspberry. Let's swap.
I love this one though. I don't think it'll beat that.
Let's see.
Right.
Let's see. Okay, you go
Tropical
first.
Bliss.
Isn't it insane?
Oh my
I
god,
love
no!
it.
I think that may be my favorite.
Okay, I'm gonna try the apple and raspberry. Let's go. Oh my god, so good.
It's hard to pick what your
So
favorite is.
Good. I don't know. I'm always a tropical girl, so I feel like I'm taking that back. That's my fave. That's my fave.
You know
Thank
what?
you.
I'm gonna have one after this. Such good flavor, and they're sugar free. Like you can't go wrong.
Yeah, love it. Thanks, Boost.
So thank you so much, Boost. We love you, and thank you so much for sponsoring this week's episode.
Thanks.
So yeah, let's get stuck into the episode, shall
Let's get into it.
So you have not been on the podcast for possibly 4 weeks now. Is that correct?
Because we'd pre-recorded.
You
haven't we?
pre-recorded. I think it might be 4 weeks. You know,
Mhm. 3 weeks maybe.
3 weeks maybe. So I've been kept filling them in on what I've got up to, so I can fill you in again another time with my crack
Mhm.
for the past couple of weeks. I'll fill in my crack for this week, but fill us in on your crack for the past month.
I know. So the last I seen is I was getting ready to go to Italy, to
Mhm.
Lake Como. Lake Como, Lake Garda and Milan. We ended up doing incredible. Like, honestly, if you're at home and you're thinking about like where to go on a holiday, go to flipping Italy. Like, apparently it's all insane. I can only speak for the 3 places I went to, and we were only there for 5 nights. You could spend like 5 weeks in them 3
Really?
places alone.
Italy's somewhere I want to
Insane.
explore. Like, my uncle has traveled the whole world. He's the one who inspired me to travel, and he's like, Italy is where I want to live. Like, he's
Beautiful.
obsessed with it. So I need to
Beautiful.
go.
Like, actually, like picture perfect. I just, we had the best time.
What all did you get up to? Because you won that on the voucher thing, didn't you?
Yeah, no, we did end up changing hotels. So basically, so everyone's like, do you think the voucher thing was worth it? I think it was good in a way that it made us go somewhere we maybe wouldn't have picked. Like, we maybe wouldn't have been like, let's go to Italy right away. It is somewhere we eventually would want to go, but it made us go. We did change our hotels, which made us end up paying extra money.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we done Lake Garda, Lake Como, and Milan. Lake Como, we rented like a private boat trip. Highlight.
Oh
I
my
would
God,
say-
no, I
like,
watched your story and you were playing, like, what music were you playing on the
Ben
boat?
Nicky?
Yeah, you were playing Ben
Like
Nicky on this boat in
hardstyle
Italy.
music, yeah. But like, people probably look and was like, oh my goodness, man was probably traumatized. He loved it. He loved our crack.
Did he?
But honestly, oh, it's just such an amazing experience. Like, probably one of the best days of my life, that little boat trip. And the guy liked us that much because I don't want people thinking we were like being tacky by doing it, because obviously it's this like romantic thing. We started off quite, you know, chill vibes, nice music, and then the guy was like letting Kieran drive the boat and everything. He's like, put some good music on, go crazy and everything. He ended up coming out for a drink with us after, like
Did
the
he?
captain. Yeah, he was so good. We just had a ball. We had a ball, and I think I'd kind of mentioned to you before I was going. I was kind of debating whether I would go because my nanny wasn't well. She was in hospital. And my mum was like, look, Shannon, worst comes to worst, it's like £40 home on a flight from Italy. It's not that big of a deal. Just
Yeah.
go. I'm so glad I did, because it really kind of cleared my mind a little bit, because I think if I had a wing at home, I just would have panicked that whole weekend. Where I came home, visited her, and then she passed away a few days later. So obviously then that kind of, the last couple of weeks, I don't have a lot to update you on,
Yeah.
because yeah, that it wasn't nice. It wasn't nice.
No.
My nanny and granda basically like raised me, and in a way, like my mum was there, my dad was there, but my mum and dad worked full time, and they were my childcare,
Yeah.
and they're just darlings. But from that happened, then my little granda, he lives at home by himself now, and he has dementia.
Okay,
So I
right.
basically moved in with him for a
have
few
you?
days. Now he's back to his normal routine now, but I had moved in with him for like a few nights and slept over and stuff, just to kind of ease him into this new life.
Yeah.
So, but it was good because it kept my mind focused, because I was making sure he was okay.
Mhm.
So it wasn't until, so it's 2 weeks today she died. The funeral was last week. The funeral was a full week later, and I was totally fine. Like, I thought I was fine up until the funeral, and then they started playing like a slideshow of photos with Elvis
Oh.
playing in the background, and that sent me. That was me gone. That was me gone. I was like, oh my goodness. But it was a beautiful service. Beautiful service. And then I kind of tried in the midst of that like period between my nanny dad and the funeral. I did do like a day of like doing a bit of content. I was like, this will help me, and it actually did. But then I tried to do it the next day, and I was like, I don't want to do nothing. I
Yeah.
don't.
Well,
Do you know what I
have to
mean?
give yourself time
So
as
I'm
well, because that's so tough.
just gradually easing back into things. I went up, I don't even know if you know this, on Saturday night, me and my boyfriend went up to Derry for the night.
Seen in your story.
So good. So we stayed in a hotel at Edbrington.
Aye, that's one Olivia McVeigh was in, you were saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
recommended. She done her wig workshop there.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, such
it
a
lovely?
good wee night. Yeah, we got a massage, and we ended up going to the Thirsty Goat. And
In Derry?
yeah, there's one in
Oh my God, I
Derry. It's
didn't know
really,
that.
really good. So they've like an inside, and like the outside beer garden is still inside, like it's covered, if that makes sense. But they've live music inside and outside. Brilliant crack.
Class.
Just what I needed. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
A wee
To
break from
properly be
everything.
like, end of the month, end of everything that's happened. Not move on, because I'll never move on from my
Yeah.
nanny, but move on with life, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. So yeah, lovely wee weekend, and back at it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all I have to really update you with this
Yeah,
week.
I know. Honestly, I send so much love to your family and all. Like, honestly,
Thanks.
I'm a heart broke for you.
I know. My nanny was just like, the way I would describe it, right? I come from a housing estate.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in Brooklands where I live also called my nanny Nanny Pat. Like, she's my Nanny Pat, but she's also like the
Everyone's.
kid down the street's Nanny Pat.
Fuck
Like,
yeah.
everyone called her either Nanny or Auntie Pat. That was her name. And she was just like, right to some of the stories I have now from like days leading up to her passing away when I came home from Italy. I didn't know if I like, I have this thing now about death. Like, people, there's something, they know they're dying, and there's this new strength that they have and like new memories.
I've heard this before.
It's crazy. That's a whole thing I could talk about now in itself, because this has probably been like the most serious time I've ever experienced death, and like hands-on kind of, and being there. Oh my goodness, like, that lady did not lose her personality or her humor right until her very last breath. We would be sitting, I don't want to tangent too much, I'll quickly tell you a little story. So we would be sitting in the hospital, and you know, my nanny was on a syringe driver. She's like high on morphine. So she's kind of just lying there, and you think she's not listening. Like, you're like, there's no way. You don't think she's unconscious. And my nanny's a very Christian woman, and my auntie had said to me and my cousin, like, do you want to say anything at the funeral? And like, although I'm confident that's like, so me and my cousin went, fuck no, at the same time. And my nanny literally from nowhere just went, hey, you know I hate that word. And I was like, what? I was like, oh my goodness, and she was just cracking jokes. Her memory, like, we were talking about one of her friends that had a little boy, and none of us could remember his name, and we didn't think she was listening, and she just came out with the kid's name.
What?
And I was like, how does she even, oh my goodness, and so if they get this like special power, I don't know, it's crazy, but
that's nuts.
It was a lovely couple of days leading up to it.
You know what I was wanting to ask you as well, because obviously I'm from like a Catholic background in like the country, so whenever someone dies where we're from, it's like massive wakes for days. Like, the entire community come to the house. Like, the house is like bombarded by like hundreds and hundreds of people every single day. I don't. Is it the same in Belfast? And like,
so it would be in Belfast for Catholic. If you're Catholic, we come from Protestant background, so it depends. Like, my nanny chose to have like a closed coffin and didn't want the body going to the house and stuff, simply because of my wee granda. She was like, I don't want to. She'd pre-booked her arrangements or whatever. Yeah. So it's not very common the way you would have wakes. We don't really have that. Protestants wouldn't really have a wake where like they have the body in the house, open casket, and people like come around to visit. That doesn't happen. Right, okay. People do come to the house. Like, there was people non-stop at my granda's house bringing buns and sandwiches and chatting about memories and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's not a wake. It's not like the person that's deceased is there. Okay, yeah. Do you get me? But yeah, do you know what? We couldn't have asked for a more peaceful passing and a more beautiful service. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That sounds lovely, yeah. That's the positive of it. And I love how she was just giving banter towards the end as well. Like, that's so nice. Funny bitch. She was a funny bitch. She really was. But yeah, what is the crack with you then over the last week?
So like I said, I can fill you in all the crack from the past few weeks, like a beef and all that there. But past week or so, to be honest, I done the podcast last Thursday. And you know the way I hadn't been drunk in 2.5 months, and like I had a few drinks here and there, like randomly, like a cocktail here, a cocktail there, but I wasn't getting drunk at all. And then was going to the Be Perfect event. But see, on the podcast last week, I don't know if anyone noticed, but I was in the worst form the whole day. Like, I just didn't.
I remember you even saying in the podcast about like you just being like out of the.
It's just been out of it.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling myself at all. I wasn't feeling good. And then we had the Be Perfect store opening for like the launch party for the new store or whatever. And I was going to that. All like the creators who were invited, we went to the Grand Central first, and they were giving out loads of free cocktails. And I was so anxious. And I was like, right, I'm going to have like a cocktail to calm the nerves. And I was like, I'll have another one. Oh, I might as well have another one. And by the time I got to the Be Perfect store, I was fucking lit. Like, I was steaming. And then who the fuck do I bump into? Danielle Walsh, the biggest partier of all time. So I'm in the Be Perfect store. Loads of people are there. Like, the Be Perfect store opening was nuts. Like, literally nuts.
To be fair, obviously I was invited, and it was the day off my nanny's funeral. So I was like to Brandon, look, can't really attend. And he was like, no one knew at this stage. So he was like, oh my goodness, Shannon, like, I'm so sorry. I was like, no, like, no one knew. And I I remember the night before, like, because my boyfriend's so supportive of me, like, and I was talking about it. I was like, it's going to be such a good night, and he was like, look, see how you feel after the funeral. Like, if you want to go, I'll drive you, and you can go for a wee while. And at the time, I was like, yeah. I came to after that, I was like, I just want to go to bed.
Yeah.
And then I was watching the stories. I was like, oh, it's such a bad timing, like, but do you know what I mean?
It's what it is. There'll be plenty more. But I went to that. It was class. There was literally the amount of people there. I was blown away. I was like, this is insane. It was bombarded. It was class. And then after that, we were leaving to go to White's. But on the way to White's, I walked past Haymarket, and I had been invited to their launch party of their armory night that night.
Can I just say something, not to interrupt? I am interrupting. Why is
everywhere in Belfast
bar in Belfast changing their cocktail menu? I swear, in the past 2 weeks, I have had at least 10 either emails, DMs, whatever, contact from bars inviting you to the launch of their new cocktail menu. And it's like, if I wasn't going anyway, because I'm like, going through a shit time last thing I need to do is be drinking cocktails. But like, if I went to all them, I would probably die. Like,
no, literally, I was the same. I was looking, I was like, I can't do all these.
Is it just coincidence they've picked like really bad
I reckon
timing?
it's because it's coming into summer.
Okay, yeah.
I reckon that's
but like
what it is.
They maybe should have all like contacted each other or something, because it was like there was loads on that night. Thursday, and I feel like there's Filthies or something is tonight, because they messaged me.
Oh, it says tonight. That is, it was tomorrow night. Sorry.
Or tomorrow night, because I'm in Dublin. But I was like, why are they all doing it in the space of 3 weeks? Or some on the exact same night? Like, they've really made a boob here.
No, literally, there's so many. But I walked past that, and I was like, fuck, I may as well call in on the way past. I'm already half cut at this stage. Walked in, it was like a shooting range thing. It was actually good crack, to be fair. And we just got loads of free drinks and food there. Then went to White's, and the night just got so blurry. We ended up going from bar to bar to bar. And then, of course,
is this when you went to Boombox?
I ended up in Boombox my own. Should I tell the story? Those were my close friends last night. Is that suitable for the podcast?
Please, just briefly. It's the photo. Tell them about the photo.
Oh my god, right. So ended up in Boombox, and I barely remember being there. I was super drunk, the drunkest I've been in such a long time. And whenever I'm in gay clubs and I'm super drunk, I enjoy kissing many people sometimes.
He gets a bit flirty.
I get a little flirty. And I can't remember exactly what happened, but there was basically this guy who I've kissed him a few times in different nights out in the past, but I think I kissed people in front of him by accident a few many times before.
Shit happens.
I don't really know what happened, but then I started kissing this other guy, and me and this other guy, we've actually been talking since before. I think I might be going on a date with him this week. He's quite cute. He's quite cute. But so I was kissing him, and apparently the other guy that I was kissing was raging or something. I don't really know, but he was like, apparently the girls who I was with were like, he was literally standing right behind you with his arm folded and his mouth open. I don't know if he was fuming, but they were making it probably wasn't even, didn't really care that much. He's probably just being dramatic. But there's a photo, for some reason, the photographer of the club, how the hell did he manage to get that 1 second? But there's a photo of this guy dancing, the 2 girls there. Now, it's me literally, like this guy holding his face, looking into his eye with the guy, and then literally the guy who's raging has stood behind him with his mouth open like this. Like, you could literally see the exact moment.
It looks like a setup photo.
It looks like a setup photo. I was like, how on earth did they manage to get that 1 second?
I really hope people now go on to is it on their Facebook? I'm gonna find it. Everyone go find it and send me it.
It's so embarrassing.
Send me to find it.
I was so into the guy as well. I was like,
it looked intense.
So intense. I was like, what is wrong with me?
It looked intense.
But the guy was cute. I've been texting me ever since. He is a bit younger than me, to be fair. I'm like, oh, you know what I was?
How much younger?
6 years. It's a bit young for me usually, to
That
be fair.
is young. I thought, because obviously I'm older than my boyfriend, so I was like, fuck it. But like 6 years is
I've never went that young before, but he was hot and he was chatting and having a bit of
as
crack.
long as he's mature enough.
You know, that's a bit of crack. I'm not thinking anything into it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
That's funny. That's funny. So you had a bit of a wild week then.
So that was literally just that night, and then honestly, my hangovers can't hack it anymore. That's me off the drink again, because I died for 5 days. Like, I couldn't cope, and then the past 2 days I've kind of just been getting back in the swing of things, like working and stuff. So
yeah, I definitely, when we went to Derry on Saturday, it was one of them nights that like we didn't come home like steaming by no means. But we'd been drinking a lot. Like, from we finished in the spa, we had a Prosecco in the spa, and we just continued drinking until the bars closed. So then I sat and thought about it. I was like, to my boyfriend, we drank a lot of drink last night. When my alarm went off to go for breakfast the next morning, he suffers. Like, he's a bitch when it comes to being
I suffer
with hangovers. I was like, are we going for breakfast? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay. We ended up just having to get stuff on the way home. But he was like for real. Like, I was like, this is you getting old. And he was like, how did I used to go out all the time and like drink all day and night and drink the next day? And I was like, you're getting old.
No, literally.
Welcome to my world. But I think I've got kind of used to it now that my hangovers aren't too, well, it wasn't bad on Sunday. It wasn't that bad.
Mine was shocking. So to be fair, there's been times where it's not too bad, but I just don't feel right for like a week.
Yeah.
But this time, my head was sore. I was uncomfortable.
So that was the end of your week, that one night?
Yeah. That I didn't get back to normal until like Tuesday, like yesterday.
Oh.
So literally
And over here.
Over here. Back up to Belfast again, and I'm going to be here now until Monday because Emily's away on holiday again, so I'm looking after her cats.
Oh, very nice.
So yeah, we've got a wee event later on tonight, me and you, and then
Yeah.
I don't really know what the crack is the rest of the week, but yeah, that's my crack
I'm
for the
in
week.
Dublin tomorrow for
Yeah.
an event. I don't think anyone's really going from up here. I don't know. It's one of them ones you could get there and know people. I don't know. I'm a bit nervous. I was saying to Kegs, like, and I actually talked about it in my TikTok when I was getting ready to come here. I obviously am like adjusting and like getting back in the swing of things, and I was recording my videos and all earlier, and I was like, this is grand, like, you know, working at home, and I was doing invoices and stuff earlier in the week and just getting back in the swing of things, and it was totally fine. But then I started thinking, and I was like, this is me in my own space. I have control over if I feel a bit sad or a bit anxious, I can just stop what I'm doing. Once I'm at like an event or coming to the podcast, I can't control my environment. So I was getting all worked up and anxious. And then the second I walked in here, I was like, I'm fine. But then I know when I get home tonight, I'll be fine. I'll be like, oh, the event was grand. I know it'll be fine. But then I'll be like, oh shit, tomorrow I have to go to Dublin by myself. And I'll be all anxious again.
Yeah.
So I need
you're always fine when you're there. It's always
Once I'm there,
beforehand.
it is. It's the build up, isn't it?
Yeah.
And people are probably thinking, going like, wise up, you're literally going to like an event. Or, you know what I mean? But it's
They are nerve-wracking.
anxious. It makes me very anxious. I remember when I first started going to events, because it's like, especially like, I've not been in social media that long.
Yeah.
So there's people that are like in the game a long time and well used to this kind of thing.
Mhm.
My first ever social media event, it was my first, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm nearly sure. So it was actually a Be Perfect event. I don't think I've ever told this story. It was a Be Perfect. It was for the launch of Chroma Cover Luminous
Right,
in
okay.
Dublin.
Okay.
And I went down. My sister was invited too. So we went and I drove down, and I wasn't feeling anxious at all. Like, I was feeling really, really good. Like, this is my first social media event. I loved my dress. I was wearing this like green dress. I was feeling myself. And I got in and I was like, I'll have half a gas Prosecco because I'm driving, but it'll wear off by the time, you know, it'll be fine. Under the limit. And I took one sip and I was talking to someone and I just felt the heat go up my back. And I was like, oh shit. The worst anxiety attack. And I hadn't had panic attacks or nothing. I just ran to the bathroom, right?
God.
And on the way I had to bend down in my knees. Now no one knew where I went. And I got back up and I just made it into the cubicle. Toilet seat wasn't up. Vomited everywhere, all over the toilet seat.
Oh shit.
So it must have took me like 20 minutes to clean this all up and I calm myself down or whatever. So then I heard my sister and Emma Smith come into the toilet because they'd came down with me. I'm like, Shannon, where are you? And I was like, in here. And I was explaining, like, I don't know what happened there, but like, I felt totally fine. And then it was just that environment of all these people that I was like used to seeing on social media. And it wasn't that I was intimidated. I think it was just overwhelming.
Yeah, it's
I was
overwhelming.
like, all these people, and it just hit me, but I didn't feel it coming on. It was the actual, it wasn't a psychological thing. It was physical
Right.
anxiety, like vomiting, sweating. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. That's crazy.
So when I look back to that, I'm like, oh, I've came really, really far now.
Nice.
At least
Sick.
I can walk in and like, I might feel a bit anxious, but at least I'm not like boking in the toilets.
Yeah, fair. The only time I've ever been sick from anxiety is in Dubai, but that's not that happened to you at like an event.
In Dublin.
Definitely overwhelmed, to be fair.
Yeah.
I always feel anxious going to those events, even if I know people are going as well.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still
I think
feeling
I was
anxious.
actually chatting to someone I knew and then I just had to run. And like, to this day,
What did that girl just be like? Oh, she's running.
that's what I'm wondering. Like, I can't even remember who it was, but they're probably going, bitch, like she just ran away. But like, it was that or be sick in your face.
fair.
Like,
Fair.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that was a tangent.
That was a
So
tangent.
we move on.
We'll move on to the next topic. Okay, right. That's what's the crack this week. Let's move on to Wait Till You Hear the Crack. Right. So this week we're going to do Wait Till You Hear the Crack. And Shannon has been off for a long time. And I have probably told many stories that you're off. So it's your turn this week, bitch.
Okay. So I'm thinking we keep it kind of tame. I'm not going to do any crazy stories this week. I suppose I'm still kind of embarrassing myself a wee bit by telling this story. Please don't judge me from it. It's kind of the story. It's not about how me and my boyfriend technically met, but it's our first proper time meeting.
Okay.
Okay? Bit of backstory. Myself and my boyfriend Kieran, we were like just friends for a long time and all this here. So this is like when we were like becoming friends. I think we had met once before in a car park, like briefly. Basically, like one of my friends went up to him, like my friend that's the guy went up to him to say hello, and I was standing beside him, and I'd actually cut my knee, because this is how then Kieran's like, I remember you coming up because there was a girl with a cut knee. So we didn't speak, but we were in each other's presence. This is the first time we like proper like spoke and stuff.
You're okay, yeah.
So, as we may or may not know, I used to be a bit of a crazy party girl.
Same.
Back in the day, I loved the Holy Lands. I literally lived and breathed in the Holy Lands.
I used to do a wee taster of Holy Land Shannon last year, to be fair.
I was like the Rose and Crown, you know, like the bar.
Yeah.
Like they hit the Hatfield and then the Rose and Crown. I was like the patron of the Rose and Crown. Like Bootsy that ran the Rose and Crown will tell you this day, I was never out of the place. Rosy Tuesdays.
I always avoided it.
I loved
It was full of Tyrone ones, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I think I avoided Tyrone ones when I went up to Belfast.
It would have been, and it was like small, like it was tiny.
Yes, tiny, aye.
But anyway, that's just a bit of backstory. So I was kind of going through getting a wee bit slightly more sensible at this stage, and I was kind of like going on dates just for like the plot. Like I actually wasn't looking for a boyfriend. I just wanted a bit of crack and a bit of a laugh. So this fella had messaged me and was like, do you want to go on a date or whatever? And I was like, yeah, I literally like whatever. We'd been chatting like briefly, but I mean like barely at all. I think he messaged me on Instagram. So when he picked me up, right? He picked me up, fancy car, like some fancy BMW with all these lights and everything.
Right.
And Oki was lovely, and went to this like fancy restaurant. I didn't understand anything in the menu. The only thing I understood was duck, so I just got duck pancakes, which was probably supposed to be a starter. But I'm like heavily drinking, and he's driving and not drinking at all.
Oh, right, okay,
So
shit.
I'm like drinking, like I feel myself getting drunker, and like bless him, this is like horrible, but he was too nice.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
Like I need a bit of
Yeah, no,
like
I get that.
I need someone to be a wee bit not cocky, a bit of banter about you.
Yeah.
Not to say he wasn't funny or whatever, but he didn't have the grit that I need. He was too nice and too cutesy.
Yeah.
So
No, I get that. I sort of went on a mini date with someone recently who was similar. It was like, I think they're just too nice for me. Do you know that way?
yeah, no, 100%. I just need a bit of grit, a bit of fire in the belly. Cheekiness, yeah. So I could feel myself getting drunk. But my friend, Caitlin Conway, you know
Yeah,
Conway?
I know Caitlin, yeah.
So Caitlin Conway is best friends with my boyfriend.
Right, okay,
But
yeah.
I knew Caitlin before my boyfriend. So Caitlin and Neve Ward,
Yeah.
people watching Kegs knows my friends. So they had been texting me that they were having a party in Caitlin Conway's house, because I think it was like Melody or something, or Mulgrab. Someone had been on that night, or some rave anyway. So they were like, come on round. And obviously me with a few fucking cocktails and wines in me. I'm like, yeah, let's go. So I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Like, I'm on this fucking date. Like, lovely fella. But like, I know this isn't going anywhere, and it's not even giving me a good story to tell my mates. Like, I need to go. So I start going, oh, I'm getting really, really tired. And he's like, oh, yeah. Exhausted. Me literally texting, I'll be on my way. Exhausted, please, can you drop me home? And he was like, of course. So bless him, he drops me back to my apartment at the time, and I have an Uber waiting on me. I literally didn't even go into the house, I just got an Uber. I don't think he's seen me, and went straight to this party. And bearing in mind, like, everyone at the party was in either like rave clothes or like hoodies, and like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a bit of a
Scaldy.
party, and I'm there in like a blazer, this tight dress, and my boyfriend was there, Kieran, and that was the first time we were like speaking, and I was literally like, oh hey, like I recognise him or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I'm actually just back from a date, and he was like, I was about to ask why you're so dressed up, and then looking back now, it's like, yeah, it was
Everything happens for a reason.
It was
Oh my
worth leaving.
God.
So if I never left that date, I'm like, I know we would have crossed paths again because of Conway, but
Yeah.
like, if them first conversations don't happen, would things have progressed
Yeah.
the way they did. It's like everything truly happens for a reason. Like, okay,
Everything else for a
I was a
reason.
bit of a bitch and lied that I was tired, but I ended up meeting my boyfriend.
But you felt that was right in the moment, and you know what? You followed your intuition. You went to the party for the cracking.
Sorry to the guy.
Sorry.
You were nice, but like too nice.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, but not
is a
for
good
me.
thing, yeah.
It's a good thing for other people, but not for me.
I do like nice. Obviously, as well.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong, like my boyfriend is amazing, like treats me so good. Like he is a literal angel from heaven above. But he can still be a bit of a see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
But like in a like funny way. Do you know what I mean? You need to have that bit of grit and a bit of a
100%.
gag. Yeah.
That's class. That was a good story, to be fair. How I met your boyfriend. How you met your boyfriend. I've still not
You
met your
haven't
boyfriend.
met him.
How have I feel like I know him.
know, and he keeps on saying like he's Boston. He wants to see the Be Perfect warehouse. He's so intrigued. He loves
Fair.
business stuff and all.
I heard you were going to say loves makeup. I was like,
And because I would always play like your and Jerry's private stories
yeah.
on like my phone, he gets so invested and he's like, they are fucking hilarious. And he's like, I need to meet them. So he wants to, but because he works Monday to Friday in Dublin,
Yeah.
and then we usually spend the weekends down at his or whatever. So we need to get like, there needs to be an event or something that he can
AVA?
come to. Probably AVA,
Yeah. Come to AVA. We'll all go to AVA together.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Podcast and then
It's not long, the end of this month.
It's the end of this month, right? Oh my god, we should literally do a podcast whilst pre-drinking and then go to AVA.
Mm.
That's a good shout, isn't it?
That would be funny. That would be funny.
Have all our peeps with us in the background as well.
Yeah, that would be good.
Oh my god, we could get them on the pod as well. Get your boyfriend on.
Oh my goodness. Oh god, no.
No, oh god, no.
He like he'll get in a random video sometimes, but just like poke his head in. But he's not like I see girls like even like Rhea Daly. I always see her boyfriend like proper like in videos like smiling or like
Rory.
What do you call?
Olivia's Rory.
Or Olivia and Billy McCormick's boyfriend. They're like, if I said to Kieran, stand here and pose in your outfit with me, show everyone your outfit of the night, he would literally be like, Shannon, get away the fuck. He would not be a TikTok boy. Like he's not standing telling you where he got his outfit from. Not a fucking hope in hell. He just wouldn't. I
would love to see that content.
Oh god, he wouldn't do it. I'd be happy enough if he did.
Yeah.
But like, I just know it's not. He wouldn't be comfortable. I'm not going to make him do something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair.
Fair play to the TikTok boyfriends out there that do it because, and the girls, how the fuck do you get them to do it?
Yeah.
Honestly, if I said to Kieran, stand there and tell everyone where you bought your outfit from, he'd literally look at me like a 10 heads.
I don't know if I would like a TikTok relationship or not. I think I would actually like someone who don't TikTok. I think I would enjoy that if they done social media as well.
You suppose you have the same interest there, but
yeah, I think I would
know
like.
Then do you not feel like everything's online?
Yeah, everything would be online.
That would be my thing. I quite like that. Like Kieran's not really on social media.
You like the privacy of it.
Yeah,
you like keep something to yourself.
Like I'm there and I'll like talk about my relationship, but like it's not like both of us are out there. Do you know what I mean? Not saying if he said to me tomorrow I want to start TikTok, I'd be like, go for it.
Fucking why not?
But I quite like it the way it is.
I think I like the freedom of the job, so you're both like, sort of free to meet up whenever.
That's true. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
Should we move on to the main topic of today?
Yeah, let's do it.
So I think this week we're going to do a wee topic. So it's what's the crack with, and this is where we basically just do like a topic or we have a guest. And this week we're going to do like navigating life through your 20s, I suppose, because we're both now in our late 20s. So we've experienced a good chunk of our 20s. I suppose I'm 26, you're 28. So we've experienced a good wee chunk of our 20s, and so we have a bit of talk.
I'm
about.
29 this year. I'm 29 November.
I'm 27 in. What month is it? Oh my god.
Did you just forget your birthday?
No, I forgot what month it was. Oh no, it's 3 months. I'm 27 in 3 months.
God.
Scary. But no, it's fine. I'm excited.
Oh, well, I think your 20s is a journey. I can say that the past 8 years has been a journey. From 20 to 28, holy shit. I think I've been through 6 different, probably actually a different version of Shannon every year.
If not more.
Yeah.
There's been some years where I've like, oh my god, I've had like 3 versions of Cahir in the past year, never mind the past few years, you know what I mean?
And I think you just have to let that happen.
Yeah.
It's actually better to let that happen rather than staying stuck in your ways, because then you're never going to like learn anything about yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like I've been through stages for myself that I look back and I'm like, I hate that person.
Yeah.
Like I actually hate that person. But me and my boyfriend were talking about this in Derry, actually quite deep to be on the drink and talking about this. You know,
those wee chats are good. Sometimes we have like DMCs when you're drunk.
You feel good after it, and like it sticks with you too.
If you remember them, I've had DMCs recently. I'm like, what the fuck was I talking about last night? I have no memory.
But yeah, You look back and you're maybe like, I don't like that version of myself. I don't like that person. But you had to go through that to learn something.
Oh, billion%.
Do you know what I
Like, I
mean?
feel like if you
So
don't
you
look back
can't
and
regret it.
cringe, like I look back at some maybe from TikToks, I'm like cringing so much. Like, who is
Hmm.
that person? Like, that is not me. But that just shows growth.
Even decisions you make and stuff, I'll look back, living no regrets. Yes, you will always look back and still think, oh, I kind of regret doing that. But you have to stop yourself from regretting it because, again, it's led you in your path and your journey that you're on, and it's
Yeah.
made you learn stuff about yourself. So I think you kind of just have to go with the flow
Go with
throughout
the
your
flow is
20s.
exactly what I was thinking. I like for me, I started off my 20s rock bottom, like literally, like really bad mental health, and got like sacked from my job, kicked out of uni. All that was the start of my 20s.
Hmm.
But at the time, I thought like my life was over. This is
Over.
what way my life was meant to go. Like my life was like everything was falling apart. And looking back now, 6 years later, I'm like that was meant to happen.
It
Like
was meant to
it put me
happen.
on the right
It
path,
taught you a lesson.
taught me a lesson, put me on the right path, and I went traveling, and I've just been trying loads
Found
of different things.
yourself.
I've been trying loads of different jobs. I've been trying loads of different things that I'm maybe interested in. I've been like
Friendship groups,
friendship
all that.
groups.
But I think it's very important to say in your 20s, like, I would say this to anyone, do not compare yourself
Yeah,
and your stage in your 20s, because I know I did that and sometimes I'm still guilty of it.
we all are.
Sometimes I'm still guilty of it in a way that, like, I'm 28 and I know for myself, not even in a comparison way, I want to be buying a house soon. I want to be doing that settling down kind of thing.
Mm,
It's not that I'm comparing that. I actually want that now, where I remember being maybe like 25 and like people I went to school with were buying houses and having babies. And I was comparing myself, being like, oh my goodness, why am I not doing that? Looking back, I didn't want that then.
yeah,
I didn't want it, but I was still guilty of comparing myself to them people and thinking I should be wanting it, or thinking that's what I should be doing and they're doing better than me.
yeah.
It's just not the truth.
Absolutely not. It's
It's
very easy as well. I think as well living here, I've noticed from me when I was traveling, I noticed I didn't really compare myself to seeing people getting married or settling
stages
down and
that they
stuff.
were at.
But because I'm home and I'm around people who are actually
Mhm.
settling down and getting the houses, getting the leveling up in their careers, like everything like that, I'm finding myself comparing myself a little bit more.
Mhm.
But I just take a step back. I'm like, no, I am on my right path right
You're
now
on
for
your own
me.
journey.
Like some people could be like getting married at 25, having kids, and then they could be divorced at 40, whereas you could be getting married at 35 and you could be
That's
married
it.
for the rest of your life. Like everyone is on their own individual path.
Yeah, you can't compare to other people's stages, especially if you're not ready for them things. Because I was
Mm,
honestly, and you also get it from outside sources. Like, I would have like family members being like, "Oh, this person's done this, or this person's done that." And what I want to say too, on that note, them people you're comparing yourself to. I'm very guilty of this. I'll not go into like description, but I had someone I compared my same age as me and went to the same school, and I compared myself heavily to their stage of life compared to mine. So like, they went to uni, I didn't, and I was like, oh, like, I was smart enough to go to uni, but I just didn't go.
yeah.
And I'm like, did I make a mistake? And this was the whole way through my early 20s. They bought a house, they had a boyfriend, they settled down, they had what I thought was a good job, and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, I am a failure. Like, why am I not doing the same things they're doing?
Yeah.
I honestly felt like they're living the dream. And then as I started, like, it kind of happened at the same time, I kind of started realizing, like, no, I'm not a failure. I didn't want them things. That wasn't what was meant for me. But I
Mhm.
also had a conversation with that person, and they sat down and told me how, although they have the things that are like thought of as like the picture perfect, what you
What
want,
society
they were
tells you
really,
want.
really down.
Right.
And they wish they didn't own their house, because the pressure that they had to stay in the job they were in to afford their mortgage, and they really wanted to actually just go and do an easier job for a while, but they couldn't do that. And they maybe wanted to go and travel, and they couldn't do that because they had that all there. And I was like, shit, like,
Mm,
I was thinking that I was the failure and that they were living the dream and I should be living that life, when in reality I shouldn't have been, because then I wouldn't have been able to go traveling.
yeah.
I probably would have forced a relationship just for the sake of it. Wouldn't have like met my boyfriend I'm with now. Your own path. What's meant for you won't buy you, won't pass you, or whatever. Do you
100%.
know what
Like,
I
you
mean?
know what I was saying? I thought I lost everything. Like, I thought my life was over because I was following what society tells you is the correct path. Like, you go to school, you get do good GCSEs, you get good A levels, then you go to university and get your degree to go to the career job to get the like, proper
Hmm.
job, to then find a partner to marry, to get a house, settle down, have kids. Like, that's the trajectory that society used to
Hmm.
tell us. But I think now, everyone like becomes more aware,
And
and
open.
open to everything, and people see everyone doing all living other lifestyles, and you can do this, you can do that, you can do whatever you want. So I think people see that now. So people are maybe going against what society tells you correct, but I feel like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are still maybe putting pressure on themselves that they have to do this
Mm-hmm.
correct path. But you don't have to. You don't force yourself into doing something that other people tell you what you should do, because that's what I done. I done that apprenticeship uni thing because other people were telling me
Telling
that's
you
what
to
was
do it.
right, but I did not want to do it. I felt in my body this was not for me, and that made my mental health
It was just the pressure.
worst. It was the pressure. And then when I actually just let it all go, I was like, I'm just gonna go with the flow, and I'm just gonna ride the wave, go wherever life takes me. And then I met
Your
people
20s go so quick, so you
so
can't waste
quick.
them doing something you don't want to be doing.
So I just want to travel, and you know what as well? It's networking and traveling and meeting new people and trying new things. And like the amount of jobs that I got around the world from different people that I met in certain places. Like I
Probably
got
nothing related to school or education
nothing
at all.
It's all about networking, showing your personality, making connections with people. There's people who I became friends with in certain places, and then next thing they're messaging me like offering me a job in another country,
Different
and that's how I
country.
traveled
Yeah,
about. So
that's
like in
insane.
Ibiza, I got offered a job in a ski resort because of someone I met in Ibiza. Then I
Hmm.
got a job in Miami spring break from someone I met in another place. Like it's all about networking, who
Yeah.
you meet. So it's always
But
put yourself.
at the same time, like, yes, that's our version. We're
That is,
nowhere near the same version.
yeah,
But we're the same versions. We didn't go down the generic route of like
yeah,
go to uni, get a really good job, find a partner, settle down, buy a house. But if you want that,
yes,
then also do that, because
100%.
some people, that's their dream and that's what they want to do.
Yeah, like
So yeah,
that's my experience, and that's your experience.
yeah,
Like everyone has their own experiences, but what we're trying to say is, don't put pressure on yourself from what other people are telling you. If you want to do something, then you do it for yourself, and everyone's on
like
their own
vice
path.
versa. The same way we're saying, if you get a house and you can't go traveling, but then there's people out there that have absolutely zero interest in
Zero
traveling.
interest.
Like my stepdad's a perfect example.
Yeah,
Like he goes on one holiday a year, and if my mum even suggested could we go for like 2 weeks instead of one, he'd be like, no. He loves working, he loves his job, he loves his lifestyle. He just wants to go somewhere a short flight away that he can chill for a week, drink beers and just chill. And that's his dream.
yeah,
He had his mortgage paid off young, he bought a house young, he settled down with my mum young, and that was his dream.
yeah,
And that's how he lived. He lived just he met my mum when he was like probably 24. My mum already had me and my sister. Like
yeah,
his dream was to take that on, and that's what he wanted to do. Where like if I said to Kieran, my boyfriend, like he's now 26, like if you met a woman 2 years ago with 2 kids and was already divorced, like would you take that on? He'd be like, fuck no.
fuck that.
Do you know what I mean? It's two different dreams.
You know what I was saying as well? My mum and dad were married and had me at my age. I'm like, sorry, I could not look after. I can barely look after myself. Never mind a
Yeah.
freaking child. Like it's
But
crazy.
that's it. You have to do what's right for you in your 20s. I think social media is in ways, okay, maybe in ways it's made it easier for people to see that, because people are a lot more outspoken on social media, like talking about their experience nowadays,
Yeah.
like, and it gives people like reassurance that they're on the right journey. But also social media, there's so much pressure there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It compares.
I'll go
comparison.
through TikTok and see people, oh, come sign for our first home at 22. And it's like a couple getting the keys to their first house. And I'm like, oh shit.
You know what I was
Do you know what
laughing
I
at the
mean?
other day? I was laughing because obviously I've been traveling different places and different chapters. I've
Mhm.
met different groups of friends. So like I could have my crazy party friends from Ibiza, but I could have my like spiritual friends from Thailand,
Mhm.
and like different friendship groups from all across the world. And I'm scrolling through my Instagram and I'm laughing at the difference in the people. Like I have like my friend, so I was scrolling the other day, for example, and like one post is like my friend's party in Miami. Next post is like one of these really spiritual girls bouncing about the beach with her titties out. Like she was drawing pictures with her period blood. I was like, this is fucking nuts. I was like,
That is one extreme to
I
the
was
next
like
thing.
one extreme to the next. But it's like, it's amazing that your 20s is like meeting new people, experiencing different things, as in like getting different viewpoints on life, because everyone is so different across this
Mhm.
world. Like the world would be so boring.
That's
Like,
one thing you need to learn very quickly in life, though. Like, you need to accept that other people have different opinions and different views. I think that's where a lot of like controversy comes in the world, because some people just can't accept that someone might have a different opinion than them or a different view than them.
yeah.
And the quicker you learn that like everyone has different opinions and has different views and is a different person, then you
Mm.
can accept it. Do you know what I mean? It
100%.
becomes a conversation rather than a controversy then.
And this is one thing that I think is my opinion. Other people might disagree, but I personally do think that leaving your hometown in your 20s is a cheat code to life, because it really does open your mind to other cultures, open your mind to other people and other viewpoints, and it will help you grow as a person, in my personal opinion. I think if I never left my hometown ever, I don't know who I would be as a person.
Yeah.
But from trying different cultures, trying different locations, whatever, it really has helped me grow. That may not be for everyone, that is my viewpoint, but I do think that even if it's to move to a new city, it's to change your environment. I
Yeah.
really do think that
See,
helps.
to be fair, I moved away when I was like, what, 20? I actually don't know, probably 20. And if anything, the first thing it took, because my whole life I was like, I hate Belfast, I can't wait to move away from Belfast, I hate Belfast. Moved to London, and I was like, oh my God, I love Belfast.
Yeah.
So it's the same idea. Like, okay, I went to I actually did go to Thailand when I was 18 for, how long was I? 5 weeks. So I did do traveling.
Yeah.
Not as extreme as you.
But it does make you appreciate home more.
Yeah.
Like, I was the same as
Yeah.
you. I genuinely hated, even for Ireland, I hated being from here at all. Like, I had such a hatred towards it. Went traveling for years, and I'm now living at home. Like, I absolutely
Enjoying it.
love. I walk around home, and I'm like, I'm so grateful that this is my home. I love it. Even though
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my own place at the moment, I am. But
It's probably so hard.
it's so fucking hard. Why is it so hard in Belfast?
Oh.
I was actually considering getting a van and living in a van.
I seen you talk about this with Jerry. I was pissing. I could actually imagine you. I could imagine you. Oh, don't even start. I was briefly telling you this is, while we're on the topic of like being in your 20s and stuff,
Yeah.
I would also say, right, school doesn't educate you in the things you need educated in for your 20s.
No, definitely not.
We were just talking like taxes. If you're like, so many people nowadays are going down the route of being their own business and self-employed.
Yeah.
Teach yourself about taxes and businesses and stuff like that. Mortgages. I was just telling Kegs there about, like, you know, I'm getting that stage. I'm like hopefully wanting to buy a house and everything. And because obviously we're self-employed, it's a different story and blah, 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 blah. And it's such like a complex thing that if I maybe had have known more years ago, I would have like put more into saving and stuff if I had have known what I know
100%.
now. Because like I was saying to you, because I'm self-employed, they are less likely to, I think this is so wrong. So if you're self-employed, you have to like work self-employed for, it's like 2 years now, a lot of lenders,
Right.
to
Yeah.
get a mortgage. But if you have a job, it's only 6 months if you're in a contracted job, which makes no sense to me, because I know, so when I worked in the chemist in Dundonald, before I done social media, I would have got handed a mortgage. Even though I could have been sacked the next day, I could have quit the next day, which is very likely.
Possibly paid less as well.
And I was also on minimum wage, so I couldn't
Yeah.
even afford to pay back the mortgage, but they would have given me one because it was a secure job. Now I'm self-employed, and if anything, I feel like there's less chance of me not having an income because I'm passionate about this, because I'm self-employed. So it's like, you'll give me that whenever I could leave my job the next day and I actually couldn't afford a mortgage. Now I somewhat could afford a mortgage, and I'm passionate and I want to continue and I want to keep doing what I'm doing. But my job's more risky, so I won't get a mortgage
Yeah.
for the 2 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so bizarre. Anyway, that was a tangent, and that's just like
No,
a thing
100%.
that melts
But
my
they don't
head.
teach us anything
But you
about
don't
that sort
learn
of
these
stuff.
things in school. Where if I had have went back, I done a video about advice I would give younger girls and stuff, like big sister advice, and one of the things was about lifetime ISAs. It used to be called a help to buy ISA.
Mm.
And it's basically like a savings account. You can put up to $4,000 a year in it, and the government will pay you back $1,000 each year. Brilliant, like unbelievable. I only learnt about this like 2 or 3 years ago.
I only learned about it this year.
If I had have known about that from when I could open it at 18, that's 10 years. I could have had 10 grand
Extra.
free from the government. So say overall that is a massive, massive, massive deposit for a house sitting there.
Massive.
Why are you not taught that in school? So that's in your 20s, educate yourself and stuff like that. Yes, it's kind of boring.
Like, I'm 26,
But-
coming 27, and I'm only recently sorting out money things, learning about money things. Like, I didn't have a clue. I avoided it, I think, for so long. I
Mhm.
think I made a mistake in my late teens. If anyone's listening, I made a mistake. I think I just wanted out of the country and I had no money to my name. And I definitely took out stupidly. My friend was like, get a credit card. I was like, oh, let's say free money.
And credit
free money.
cards company don't tell you how a credit card works.
No, I don't have a fucking clue. I was like, free
It's free
money,
money. Yeah.
perfect. And then I eventually had to start paying it back years later, and I ended up, I think I probably owed them more than what I got out or whatever.
And it affects. So whenever
put your bad credit score.
I done the exact same things when I turned 18. My bank contacted me and was like, we want to offer you a credit card.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness, free money. Amazing. £1,000.
Not fucking
Class.
free.
Give me it all. Now, I was aware I had to make the minimum repayments.
Yeah.
I knew that. But what I was doing was maxing it out each month and then just paying off the minimum payment and then spending that 50 quid again the next month. I was like, this is fine. I've never missed a payment. This is great. And then I think eventually I paid off. But then I remember... No, it wasn't. I hadn't paid it off yet. And I remember like people started talking about credit scores. I didn't even know what that was when I left school. Didn't even know.
Don't have a clue.
And I remember checking it and it being like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. And I was like, what have I done?
Mine was bad for years.
So-
Like I couldn't even get a mobile phone contract out for
No
years because
way.
mine was so bad. But now it's like, it's good now.
It's
Like I've
okay.
sorted it.
Well, I had
But-
to contact the bank and be like, why is my credit score like this? You know what's, and they were like, oh, your credit card, like if you are, let me get this right. If you are in more than 50% of your credit for over half the year or something like that, rather than it, because it affects your credit score good if you're making payments and credit and whatever, you know, it actually builds it. But if you're using more than half of what your available credit is for more than half of the year, it starts to affect it negatively instead of positively.
Oh, really?
No one told me that when
Yeah, they
I
don't
got
fucking
this
tell you
thing.
anything.
So me at 18 was like, probably maybe 20 at this stage then. I was like, shit, I need to flip and pay this off and get rid of it. And then now I've learned how to use a credit card correctly. So like I have a credit card which literally has £250 on it. I'll not get excited. But I closed my other accounts and I got this one that's like, it's good to help your credit. So it's £250 on it. And I use it to buy like coffees. I use it to buy like coffees or a McDonald's or like something small. And at the end of the month, say I've spent 50 quid on it, I pay the full 50 quid off. And it's just to keep my credit score healthy.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. I had to like
They don't
teach
tell you
myself
anything.
that.
There's so much they should be teaching us in school, even about like sexual health and all that there sort of stuff too. Like that's a topic for a complete conversation, but we were speaking
Definitely.
about that.
We spoke about
Like,
this briefly.
Like gay men, they don't tell you anything about being gay in school anyway. Maybe they do now. I'm not sure because I've been in school in like 8 years. But like
They didn't.
gay men are meant to be on like medication to protect
this-
themselves from diseases and things like
Yeah,
that.
I did not know this. It was Kegs was chatting to me. You were saying about starting a medication, and I was like, "What? What is this?" And he explained that like gay men should be taking.
It's
like
called
a
PrEP. So
a
it's
preventative
so it's-
tablet.
It's called PrEP. So you know the way girls take tablets
The pill?
to not get pregnant. Gay guys take PrEP to prevent them from getting HIV or AIDS.
Never, ever,
I only found out it.
ever have I heard of that until you told me, which is so bad. And I have, you know, I've gay friends and I'd be involved in that kind of community. Obviously, it's not something that's really talked about, but it doesn't need. It shouldn't need.
It is talked about in big gay communities, but like I only started really getting into the gay scene the past couple of years, and I had never
but
heard of it before.
It shouldn't need to be talked about. We should be learning
You
that
should know
stuff
it.
in
It should be
education.
known to you. Do you know what I mean? Like there's stuff that you just have to learn in your 20s. The school just
Like
don't
whenever
teach you.
you're learning about condoms and all that stuff, like in school, like they should mention, yes, you can use the pill for contraception. They teach you about STDs, they teach you about AIDS, so why do they not teach you about this tablet that can prevent it?
Yeah,
That seems so silly to me.
it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much that you just have to sort of figure out on your own throughout your 20s. Like I think I was kind of lucky as well that I had like sort of a friend who was older who sort of mentored me into sort of the gay world because I was so new to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like didn't have a clue, but it's just sort of trial and error. Like literally, your 20s is trial and error for
It is.
absolutely fucking everything.
Yeah.
Finances, relationships, friendships, everything. Like there's so
And
many
just
people.
never lose hope either, because like you're saying, like finances, friendships, everything. I can nearly tick jobs, everything. I could tick off every single one and say that there's been a place where I've been at rock bottom.
And
I'm like,
everyone-
I'm never going to overcome this. And then looking back, I'm like, I have the best friends again.
Yeah,
For once in my whole life, I'm like, not financially well off, but I'm financially stable.
yeah,
You know, I'm comfortable.
yeah.
And I've got a relationship that I never imagined that I would have. I'm happy within myself, and it's like I never thought I would get to that stage at certain
Yeah.
stages of my 20s. So you have to keep the hope and the faith and the positivity that it's going to be okay.
For me, I'm 20, coming 27 soon. I've said that 16 times in this podcast. But I basically, like, I'm at right now, I'm sat at home and I've had I've had like better. So if I look at different chapters in my life,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm now living at home with my parents. Don't get me wrong, my finances are better than they have been in the past for sure. But my relationships with people, as in like I've got no relationships in terms of like romantic sense,
Mm-hmm.
friendships, majority of my friend groups live at other sides of the
Other
world. So right now
countries.
I'm like I barely see that many of my friends. Like obviously I've got friends here, but like it's just not the same as
different.
what I was like constantly surrounded by friends. And my career is doing not too bad to be fair. I love the podcast. But like it's just weird how like different chapters I've been like good but bad here, but then it could be like good in other
You
chapters.
just have
and
to keep the faith.
just keeping the faith. You know what I am. I'm that type of person. I'm just like I'm trusting that everything is going to work out how it's meant to, and I have
You
full
have
faith in
to.
that.
That's the only thing that'll keep you going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good wee chat about
That
living in the
was.
20s.
We
But yeah,
probably blabbered on.
blabbered on.
Blabbered on. We'd a lot to catch up on, to be fair.
Yeah, so yeah, if you are navigating your 20s right now, you got this. Trust the
You got it.
process. We love you. And if you're going into your 20s, good luck.
You're really just starting the fun journey.
But yeah, that is the end of our main topic, which was what's the crack with navigating life in your 20s, I suppose. So we were going to move on to our final section, which is tell us your crack, but we have run out of time. So
Blabbed on.
we literally blab on so much. So we're going to move that to our Wednesday's episode, which was Bonus Craic. We done that 2 weeks ago. We didn't do one with Jerry's episode. We're going to do it this week. So we're going to answer all of your dilemmas over there, and we're going to do maybe a wee game of Cracker Sack as well.
Yeah.
So join us on Wednesday for that. Also, if you want to send any more dilemmas in, we didn't actually get that many this week. So guys, you need to get on it. Send us your dilemmas. So send it to craicheadspod@outlook.com. The link is, or the emails on our like Instagram and stuff. And the night before, we usually put up like a wee story anyway to send some in. So yeah, please send us your dilemmas or some funny stories that you may have for next week's episode. And yeah, we'll catch you over there. But
For now, that's it.
we'll wrap it up.
Wrap it up this week. This has been great. I'm glad to be back.
I am so happy you're back.
I'm
This is
so
just
glad to
so
be back.
uneasy. Like, I just love bouncing off you, like
It's so
having a
chill.
catch up.
Yeah, it's like you've whenever we finish this, like I don't feel drained. Like I get a buzz.
Yeah.
Like I get like a bit hyper. I'm like, oh, that was such a nice wee time.
All the
But
booze
yeah.
probably helped.
That's my third.
Literally.
That's my third.
This is my second. I'm like, I don't think I can drink anymore tonight. It's like 6
We're
p.m.
going to an event. Like we'll film the Wednesday's part here, and then we've got an event. People think I'm drunk
Yeah.
because I'm gonna be like
Bouncing off the walls.
boosted up.
But yeah, thank you so much
Thank
to
you,
Boost
Boost.
and their new sugar-free drinks for sponsoring this episode. We love ya, and we cannot wait to drink all 50 million cans that are over there.
We'll keep them here. But yeah, join us again next week for another Craic Heads episode.
And yeah, we love you. Thanks for tuning in.
Love ya.
Bye.
Bye.